Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Left Behind, Rise of the Anarchist. Okay, now I've seen all the other ones, and imagine this. The very first one I think is Kirk Cameron. Then there was a sequel to that one, like Left Behind 2. That was done with Kirk Cameron. And then Nicolas Cage did a version of Left Behind. And now we got Kevin Sorbo in it. And Neal, I think he's always in them. I don't know. Corbin Bernsen's in it too, but Neal McDonough is in it. I don't know where he is, but he's in this too. I think he's in a lot of these. He makes a great villain, so I'm assuming he might be the villain. And after World Falls, basically this is after the Revelations. Where God comes down and he picks half the people and they go up to heaven, the other half are stuck down here. After that, there's a new leader that rises to the head of the UN. But does he bring hope for a better future, or is it the end of the world? So I'm assuming that's Neal McDonough. But that's just me. I don't know. So yes, it is a faith-based movie, and it is on Amazon Prime. It is only rated as a 3.6 on IMDb. 861 people have rated it so far. It is an hour and 55 minutes long, but it's a Thursday. Let's go for it. I'm excited. Let's see if it's any good. I like the Kirk Cameron, the Nicolas Cage stuff, so we'll see. Stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I'm going to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Left Behind, The Rise of the Antichrist. I think that's what it is, right? And yeah, Rise of the Antichrist. 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 50 seconds is where we are. So over halfway. It's a 2-hour film. Didn't realize that. But 40 minutes away from. But essentially, I think. As I think of these movies, it's all the same movies. I know I said it's Revelations. It's the Rapture that has happened, and they all follow the same thing. It's just different actors and different situations, essentially. And so the Rapture has happened. Kevin Sorbo lost his wife and son, but his daughter's still there. So he's trying to figure out what's going on, and he has at the time of the beginning of the movie, he was not really involved in the church, if you will. And of course the world is going crazy. We have Neal McDonough, who is like the leader of the UN, and he is the one trying to push. If you've ever seen these before, read The Rapture, there's certain things that are going to happen, and essentially they're trying to unify the world through one currency, and that's his goal, right? And so, and that's his way to kind of take it over, and then eventually, they have 7 years now from the Rapture until the end of time, or the end of the world, essentially. And so, but that's all part of the prophecy of what's going on. Right now, that just has happened, and they're trying to figure out what's going on and trying to see if they can kind of stop anything that's not supposed to happen. So it is interesting. I like post-apocalyptic type movies. I like faith-based movies. I like Neal McDonough, and I like Kevin Sorbo. So all this is pretty good. However, though, seeing it now like for the third or fourth time, it's like, okay. You know what I mean? It's all the same thing, but it's just done in a different. Now it's a little bit more modern. They have the internet and stuff like that, and like some of the other ones that I have seen, they didn't so much have it. There's also a reporter involved, so the reporter's trying to uncover everything that's going on, what's true and what's not true, and so he plays a pretty big role. But it's basically those perspectives, if you will. Kevin Sorbo's character was a pilot. He was flying when half the people left. So essentially God calls to heaven all of the, I'll say pure of heart, I guess. And they all go up and everybody else stays on earth to see if they can survive the seven days of tribulation, or 7 years. I think it's of tribulation. I don't know. But anyway, that's where we are. Interesting. And I don't want to go into too much more detail about it, but we'll see where it goes from here. Stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Left Behind, The Rise of the Antichrist, and again, for everything that I described about this film earlier, I like it. Now, Just like a lot of these faith-based movies, not everybody's going to agree with it, of course. So those who don't believe or whatever probably aren't going to watch it, so they don't care. But those of us who are, I always like to keep in mind it's about the message. It's about, it's not the realism, the best acting, the best cinematography, the more advanced stuff. It's really, like they operate on a much lower budget than a lot of other films, and I think that shows. But that doesn't bother me. I know that getting into it would be cool to see like a very high budget type film like that. I don't know, maybe there was. Maybe God is Not Dead, which, by the way, there's a nod to that. God is Not Dead is another series of faith-based movies, and faith-based movie. It's a whole series of them. Anyway, and there's a quick nod to that here, so I like that. This was actually directed by Kevin Sorbo, and there's the obviously very heavy on the faith side. Some of them they're not, they're more subdued, but this one, you get the, when they're saved and the emotions take them over. That whole piece is in this. But a lot of, I liked it. There are some of the, I'll give you one example of like, digging a grave. Like within minutes, 5 feet deep by one person, to see what's going down, and then the purpose of it, at first I was like, wait, I don't get this, but I eventually get it, but then it's like, really, so that piece was like, okay, alright, that's not just gonna happen. And the use of pamphlets versus like social media, the internet and everything, all that still works. But they're handing out pamphlets and stuff like that. So, like, just stuff like that just kind of sticks out. But otherwise, I like it. It's okay. I like to see it modernized as much as they did, even though I just referenced how they didn't modernize it, because it went, over the years. So, it'll be interesting because these can always, in some cases, lead to sequels, if you will. I don't know if there will be a sequel to this, but I'll put it this way, if there is, I'll definitely watch it. Alright, there you go. Not for everybody, but if you're into what I described, you'll want to check it out. Don't be left behind. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.